Hey guys, welcome back to the Fulco. Just going to do a very quick video after the Carabao Cup match against Doncaster Rovers. Tottenham running out 3-0 winners. And yeah, it was exactly what you want from one of these games, one of these early round games against a lower division opposition. The opposition is always to be respected, they're to be taken seriously, but from Tottenham's point of view, this is about minutes and legs. It's about rotating the team, resting, protecting players, all of those kind of things. They are the most important thing. We need to get minutes through lots and lots of different players to try and get them into form and playing. And we did that with lots of changes, 7 changes to the starting lineup from the weekend. And we'll have a quick look at who the winners and the losers were across the piece. But largely speaking, it felt like a good blend, a good enough blend with enough senior players, first team senior players in the lineup. So we changed the goalkeeper, Kinski in goal. We have Pedro Porro at right back, Jed Spence at left back, and then we brought in Kevin Danso. He played on the left-hand side of the two, and we dropped Joao Palhinha. So that's very interesting, seeing him dropping into the centre half, which obviously he had a great game, had a really good game, and delighted that he can drop in and play that position. But you would feel that if we'd have had some of our other centre halves fit and available, they would have got minutes tonight. So that would have been good for them. But obviously, that might have changed exactly how it turned out, given what Paulinho did on the night. We also had Bentancur in the middle, playing in the deeper midfield role, Archie Gray coming in alongside him. We then went with Xavi Simons in a narrow 3, and then up front, we started with Matisse Tell in the 9, Brennan Johnson on the right, and Wilson Odobert on the left-hand side. So let's go through very quickly and see who the winners and the losers were. Kinski in goal, solid. Didn't have a great deal to do, but what he did have to do was one save in the first half from a kind of scissor-style volley from one of the Doncaster players. Wonderful save, great reactions, gets down quickly, gets a solid hand to it, and pushes the ball onto the post. Really, really important at that moment in time, not to allow the momentum to swing, having gotten off to a very good start and gotten ourselves a lead. So that was very, very pleasing. And yeah, delighted for him because there's been some question marks about his shot stopping, and that was an instinctive save. That's what goalkeepers are there to do, and he did it brilliantly. For the rest of the piece, he was very, very comfortable and very competent with his feet. Some nice distribution, nothing really to talk about in that. Could potentially have been a bit braver playing balls into midfield, but we haven't been doing that all season. So it doesn't feel like the instruction is there at the moment for our goalkeepers to do that. So other than that, delighted. Kinski gets full game, does what he needs to do. Claimed one high ball, one ball that was coming into the box that he got underneath and claimed it nicely, and one really good save. Pedro Porro, good throughout, doing Pedro Porro things. Just he seems to be a machine. He's unstoppable. Jed Spence had a good game until he was rotated and he had his minutes managed with Udogie, who came on, and he was fine when he came on. So that was really good, them sharing out the minutes. The centre half pairing looked good. It looked okay. Danso's obviously very strong in the air, even though he got himself an injury early on, a head injury early on. He carried on, he soldiered on, and you can tell that's the kind of player he is. So he's gonna battle through those kind of things. He largely did his job well. Good in the air, stepping out sometimes, trying to win the ball, very strong. And no real issues. A couple of times it looked like he was going to get played round, but good recoveries, good running lines, and yeah, nothing to be disappointed about. He did a good job. Joao Palhinha next to him is the one that deserves all the credit because he had a very good game. When he stepped out and he stepped into his natural midfield role, he did well. He won the ball several times that way, but obviously the headline grabbing bit is and I guess you could call it an overhead kick. I don't think any attacking players call that a particular overhead kick, but you still got to have the confidence to do it and execute. So, yeah, another one, Tottenham set piece. And I think the goalkeeper slightly gets underneath it. He gets a bit of a back wrist on it, spins it goalwards. The defender's trying to clear it off the line. He clears it, can't get much distance on it with the way the ball's travelling. And Palhinha turns well, gets good contact on it, gets laces on it, and sends it back over his head, over his shoulder, and over the defender into an empty net. So, good for him. Delighted. He's popping up. He's a threat in the penalty area. He's already got a couple of goals for Tottenham, which is great. So yeah, all round, very, very pleased. And obviously great to see that he provides another option in the centre half positioning as we wait for the rest of our playing staff to come back to fitness. Into the midfield, it was one of those where Xavi Simons was very quiet. He wasn't really able to stitch the play together. They did obviously focus their attentions on him. He was fouled a couple of times. I don't think there was a penalty. There was one coming together on the edge of the box from a nice ball over the top by Lolo, and I don't think it was a penalty. Don't think there was enough in it, but they certainly focused their attentions. There was a couple of times he skipped away, and they just brought him down. Different players bringing him down. One of their players was I can't remember, was it Middleton or someone? He was quite lucky to stay on the pitch, I think. But yeah, he had a largely quite quiet game, but that's okay. More minutes in the legs. He played very narrow. He ostensibly played off the left hand side, but no, he was super narrow, basically in the 10. And yeah, he did okay. In the rest of the midfield, Bentancur, solid, reliable, dependable, some, nice passing, lots of energy getting around the pitch, snuffing little bits and pieces out and stitching the play together. Very, very nice technically. Not a great deal to say. It wasn't a fantastic performance, but he did what he needed to do, and he was there as leadership and, and a steady pair of hands or a steady pair of boots in the middle of the park. On the right-hand side of that midfield, or arguably in the 2, with a 1 playing ahead of it with Xavi Simons dropping into the 10. Archie Gray, very, very nice, very good game. Again, shows levels when you're playing against League One opposition. You can see that Archie Gray is a Premier League level player. He was very, very tidy, nice on the ball, good touch. Played a bit more advanced, so was doing a bit of stuff that Berryval's been doing. He's getting on that right-hand channel and getting further advanced up the pitch, which was nice to see. He's a very good technical player. He wasn't in there particularly to be a defensive midfielder, but he certainly did put his body in, secure possession when he needed to, kept things neat and tidy, didn't give the ball away. And was always getting back into his pockets and protecting his defence. So yeah, really nice game from Archie Gray. Delighted to see that. Need to see plenty more minutes for him playing in midfield, even if it's going to be as an 8 against a club like Doncaster Rovers. If we're playing better opposition, maybe he'd have had more defensive duty to do, and we'd have seen more on that side of the game. So yeah, very happy for him. In the front 3. I don't want to talk about Matisse Tell. I feel for him. He is clearly, despite being such a confident young man, he's clearly actually not confident whatsoever on the pitch at the minute. He's really struggling. 2 basically golden opportunities, absolute gimmies in terms of hitting the target, and he's missed both. He's airballed twice off 2 very easy finishes, 2 lovely passes by Brennan Johnson as well, just teeing him up, just side foot that. You don't need to take the paint off it, you don't have to hit it hard, just side foot control. The first ball across in the first half early on, the defender slides across the front of him, but you've got to anticipate, if you're a striker, if you're a forward player, if you're at that level, that you just anticipate, you just wait for it. If the defender gets the touch, he gets the touch, but you don't worry about that until it happens. You focus on the ball, don't take your eye off it, don't lose your concentration, tap that into the side netting and wheel away celebrating. He didn't do that, he's fluffed it. and then he's compounded it, and his confidence taken another hit in the second half because it's another lovely ball, really nice interplay. An interchange down the right-hand side sets Brennan Johnson free, and he plays an absolutely lovely cutback, and that's set up just to be swept into the inside the far post. Completely missed it, bobbles it, and basically gets a hair's touch on it, and it just rolls across him. So yeah, disappointing evening from him. He struggled throughout the game, didn't really get involved in the play, and when he did, it wasn't brilliant. There's a few times he managed to hold the ball up, but largely speaking, his passing wasn't great, and yeah, those two chances missed. They're two very good chances, and they are going to hit his confidence. So I hope for him he can bounce back. I hope for him he can get some minutes. I hope for him he can get a goal. But we've all seen this before, right? With a player who has just got absolutely no confidence, even though he's banging in goals for France under 21s, he's got no confidence in a Tottenham shirt. So he comes back to the club, and every game looks hard for him. Every chance looks difficult. There's no confidence that he's going to do what he needs to do. And like I said, we've all seen this movie before. So hopefully he can drag himself out of that and get himself a goal somewhere and kick on. But yeah, I do worry for Matisse Tell. Let's go for a bit of positivity. Bren on the right hand side, excellent game again for all the Brennan haters out there, and I know that I always end up defending him. You can see the levels, right? Today you can see the levels. You can see that's a Premier League player. He's an elite player. So good, really good in the first half. On the right hand side, beating his man with ease, great quality delivery, all of those kind of things. Really good to see. So delighted with all that. And obviously he does what he does. He scores goals. It's Johnson again. Ole. Lovely goal at the end. As I said, he laid plenty on for other players. Good crosses, chip balls at the right time. Good pass selection from the right hand side. He clearly had the pace on his fullback. And then that goal running from deep. He's run from behind the defensive line. Obviously, he's got the momentum on that run. Good ball from Beraval, with us having it the ball, then passing it directly to us, in fact. But yeah, he just turns the jets on, and a really nice composed finish. He takes that one extra touch, which then pins the keeper. He puts the keeper on the floor and he just dinks it, and I think it slides off the keeper's face, actually. So nice composed finish, excellent goal, capped off an excellent performance. Could arguably have been the player of the match, but you probably give it to Palhinha for his performance in his goal, given the circumstances. But yeah, brilliant from Bren today. Just good to see. Minutes, goals, keep doing what you're doing, keep improving, and try and do a bit more of that against better opposition. And then finally, a bit of disappointment. So Odobert, despite having a brilliant moment for the second goal, his fullback gives him too much space. There's too much separation there, and you don't give a take on winger that much space. Odobert does well. He drives into the edge of the box. Then he starts throwing the step overs. Again, that fullback shouldn't be backing off to that position before he's asking Odobert to make a decision, but he does. Odobert, good quick feet, shifts it, bangs it across. Not much the centre half can do. He's trying to just get his leg up to get the ball away, and it hammers off his shin or his knee and goes into the back of the net. Good goal, good play. It was an isolated incident. That was basically it. That was basically all Odobert did, to my recollection, before I watched the game back. He too negative at times, didn't then look to replicate that, should have been doing that for the entire time he was on the pitch. Get the ball back to him, be positive, take your man on, try and create something, but he just doesn't seem to want to do it, or doesn't have the confidence to do it. I don't know where he is at the minute, but yeah, it was a very disappointing performance aside from that. So obviously that's very good, but it's an isolated moment, and he needs to put that consistently together, and he didn't do that. So yeah, a bit disappointing from that respect. And then the subs coming on, we've mentioned a couple of them came on, did well. Delighted to see Luca Williams Barnett coming on, such a young player. Everybody delighted, everybody wanting him to do something special. It's just great for him to be in the side and making an appearance. And hopefully there are many more to come, because obviously he's finding it a bit too easy in the academy at the minute. But you could see, even against Doncaster, there was a couple of nice minutes. There was some really, there was a nice movement where he drew in his fullback, just rolled the ball across him and then cut it to the overlapping players, probably the doggy going on the outside. Really nice, good technically, good awareness, nice execution. But by the same token, there was a moment where he had a bit of separation with his fullback and he was looking to run from deep, and it was too easy and too obvious, and he effectively just knocked the ball into the fullback who took it off him. So bits and pieces that he can work on. But yeah, delighted to see him making an appearance in the first team, given how exciting he looks from the stuff he's done in the academy. But it's all about levels. It's all about, you know, getting him minutes, competitive minutes against really good opposition players. And he's got his first taste of that. And hopefully there's many more to come. That's it. I'll leave it there. There's not a great deal else to say. Lots of rotation. Doesn't look like injuries. Comfortable throughout. 3 goals. Some good performances. Some people like no change from what they've been doing in the rest of the season, who definitely need to improve. But overall, we go marching on. So delighted with that. Let's leave it there, guys. Have a great middle of your week, and we'll be back on the weekend. Let's see how we get on back in Premier League action. As ever, come on, Tottenham.